Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. So there we go. So we all have foot stuff. So some of us might even use the two balls, okay, for foot rolling. Up to you. You might even have them off the mat. So wanna before we get into class, because I'll forget after class, Linda, who teaches at the studio Wednesday, 9 a.m., the osteo strength, will be subbing this class next Wednesday and the Wednesday after, because I will be traveling. Oh, Thursday, sorry, yes, Thursday. You also be doing Wednesday. That's why I'm thinking Wednesday, but Thursday. So this class next Thursday and the Thursday after. So just so you know, and then I'll be back. Yes. Yeah, you will enjoy it. And some of you know Linda because in the past you've subbed. So a lot of you do know you. Um, okay, beautiful. Let's take a moment just to arrive in our body. Intentionality and the quality of feet. Breath in the nose, out the mouth. Let's do that a couple times. You may allow the arms to externally rotate. So you feel the underside of the arms and the palms facing forward just to open the chest. Soft bend of the knee, even the weight through the toes and the heel. Okay, the other cue we've been talking about at the very end of bottom of the pelvis called the ischium, in this very bottom, you have those two bones. We sometimes call them sit bones, but they're anatomically correct, called your ischial tuberosity. Um, so those bones, sometimes if you're really heel heavy and you lock your knees, you squeeze the buttocks together, right? So you'll feel your glutes activate and then you'll have really tight hamstrings. Yes. Right? Okay. So one thing is you want to do is if you bend your knees and shift a little bit more weight into your toes and widen those sit bones, your femur heads, you'll start to feel a little bit more of a widening coming through the back and a little bit more of an internal rotation through your thighs. Okay, so that's really important to keeping space because you've got a lot of nerves here. And last week we did some sitting, which is really challenging if you've got tight hamstrings because your hamstrings attach onto that sit bone. So if your hamstrings are really tight, you're in a posterior tilt a lot of the time. Yeah. Overloads back body a lot too. And so you just want to widen. It's going to feel really unnatural at the beginning because it's not your regular place to stand. Soft shoulders, soft neck. Maybe some pursed lip breaths as you feel that intentionality of the feet, toes, heels, widen sit bones. Press the feet into the floor. So all of the toes, the whole inner outer heel, back of the heel. And then feel a little lifting up through the lower belly, but keep the sit bones wide. So you're going to feel an engagement through the buttocks, but it's not an over clenching. It'll be a little bit deeper in the body. As you keep gathering, you'll feel the front of the ribs coming towards one another. So we talk about that a lot, the transverse. And then there's an inner lift that goes up like you've got a little string out the top of your head. So you can breathe around the integrity. A lot of the time we focus on integrity, but also maintaining space. Okay, so I'll share with you one of the asana of yoga that we bring into class here is that sthura, integrity. Okay, so that's integrity in Sanskrit. And then sukham, space and ease. So we should feel joy, but also strength in our practice. Thinking about these two qualities. Do you tend to lean towards one more than the other? You can balance it out. If the eyes were lowered or closed, open them. Check one foot that you want to start your standing on and which foot you want to slowly start to lift. So you just wait. Keep pressing down, lifting up. Keep the sit bones wide. Keep your toes pressing into the floor as much as your heel. And then the other leg will start to lift. And we want to try not to hike up the hips, so keep the hips level. And then we always do a little kick forward and back, just a little knee slide. You can go along the floor too. Some of us like to bring in a few hip circles. So you might go one direction a couple times, or you might just touch down like what I'm doing, up and down. Okay, so you can roll on the dowel if you want. My body's asking me to roll on the dowel first, just to release the fascia on the whole sole of the foot. Yeah. See if the breath out the mouth wants to come in. Yeah. Have to make more of the rainbow balls. Those ones are always a good hit. And then some of you are already rolling on the ball, which is really quite nice because you can feel the roll through the inner and the outer of the medial and the lateral arch, which is quite nice. So medial is big toe to inner heel, and lateral is pinky toe to outer heel. You can pump on the ball. Also, the little divot in the center, you can pop your outer lateral arch in it and it rolls. I really like that one. It rolls on the front and the underside. And then you can also do the inside. And you can move the ball around to roll, to compress. Okay. Really nice to put it under the front part of the foot. So that's your transverse arch. And let the toes wrap around. Good. Yeah. Take your time to do one side for as long as you want. And then you just take a moment to feel right foot to left foot. Notice the difference after rolling. You might even move your hips around a little bit and see, because myofascially, that's going to connect up into the pelvis. And then check in. Hey, do you still have wide sit bones? Do you still have a soft bend of the knee? And you take some time to wait, to feel the stability of that foot leg. Maybe just going to move my dowel off to the side. Might have a little movement back and forth that might be off the floor. You might choose to circle. Yeah, good. Lots of proprioception. Let the arms come out to help with balance. Finding a focus point to look at the whole time will also help in balance. We notice when we do balance that sometimes we'll hold the breath. You do just let it go. Right? Because the mind's really paying attention. And I'll sometimes notice when my mind's really focused, all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, or I'll take a big gasp, right? And you go into what is called in yoga, it's called a spontaneous pause or a spontaneous hold. And I always like to share the Sanskrit because that is the language of yoga. And so it's called a Kavala, which is kind of fun to say, Kavala, if you want to say it, Kavala Kumbhaka. And Kumbhaka means pause, right? Or hold. So it's a spontaneous Pause. Kavala, kumbhaka. Hey, when your mind gets really focused, it happens. It's a one-pointed kind of awareness. It's really fun to notice. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, so just take your time. And you might even pause afterwards. My ankles just asked me to do a few ankle circles. So you keep rolling. You can have your toes on the floor and do some ankle circles. You can bring them up. You can do a little bit of shaking of the leg, just warming up the body, just doing a little range of motion. So good for the lower body, creating fluid. Yeah, good. And then just see if upper body wants to shake out a little bit. And then when you're ready, we'll just move our stuff off to the side. Good. Okay, let's take us into a forward fold to start. Ah. So we're going to find feet. I'm just turning sideways just for visual, roughly hip width apart. Okay, sometimes putting the hands so you can have the fingers finding the crease of the hips. That's where you're folding from. Sometimes it's nice even just to put the fingers there as you inhale, exhale. This is when we do a shift of weight distribution. So you shift the weight a little bit more back on the heels, and you can feel how the pelvis, the sit bones start to reach back. And that'll allow the torso to fold into a right angle. And then once you're in your right angle, bring the weight a little bit more back into the toes, hang there, inhale through nose, exhale, gather the front ribs in and up, maybe an SH breath. Keep that integrity, reaching back through sit bones forward through the top of the head as the gaze stays onto the floor, swinging arms, circling them. Maybe the knees stay a little bit soft if they choose. And you might choose to just stay here. If so, the forearms can come onto the thighs. If you choose to go farther, press the feet, keep the weight as it moves back a little bit more on the sit bones, and then start to think, sorry, onto the heels as the sit bones go up towards the ceiling. And then you'll feel the body fold. And then find once you're in your full forward fold, you do shift the weight back on so you feel toes and heels. You let your head go. We can nod it here and turn it. Just feel the weight of the head hanging off the spine. Sometimes the arms want to hang. Sometimes you want to bend at the elbows and right hand holds left elbow, left hand holds right. And you just let the weight of the elbows draw down. That's going to tug through the back muscles of the latissimus dorsi muscle, which is going to fold all the way into the sacrum. It's connected pelvis to arms through a fascial connection. And you can kind of twist a little bit from side to side or swing the arms. You choose. You're going to get a little bit more laterally. Take your time when you're ready. We're going to move into chair to assist in coming back up, increasing that blood pressure to come back up to the heart. So the knees bend. Sit bones sit down. Hands can stay on the thighs. They can come up, but soft shoulders. Take a moment to be here. Feel toes and heels, toes and heels. There we go. Wide sit bones. Do an SH breath. Shh. One more time. Inhale, exhale, SH breath. Good. Then press down through the feet as you lengthen and reach up through your arms and your fingers. Come up to standing. Good. And then just exhale. Let the arms go out to the side. Nice. Let's bring the hands behind us just for a moment. Interlace fingers, pull them down. Just going to open chest for a moment. Soft bend of the knee, toes and heels. Just breathe and let the front of the collarbone widen. Take 2 more breaths here. Ah. Okay, unlace the hands. Do a few shoulder rolls. Inhale, draw the shoulders all the way up, roll them back. Exhale, bend the knees. So it's going to be in the nose. Shoulders come up, roll them back. Exhale out the mouth as you bend the knees. Maybe a sigh. You choose. Inhale, squeeze, roll back. Exhale, let go. Just doing a little tension and release. Yeah. Ah. Couple more. Okay, we're going to go one more and then we're going to switch directions. So if you're following me, you're going to go back now. Shoulder blades are going to squeeze together, then shoulders come up, forward, exhale, release. So inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, bring the shoulders up, forward, release. And just creating some release through shoulder blades. I'm going to do a little strengthening through here today. Ah, good. 1 or 2 more. When you're ready, you can shift to the inhale, compress, hold the breath, a little Kabbalah Kumbhaka. And then as you exhale, you drop the shoulders. Let's do that again. This time, let's press the feet into the floor as the shoulders come up. Squeeze, little hold of the breath, and then you let it go. Good. Two more on your own. Hold for your length. Good. Let's do a pursed lip breath with this next one. Inhale, draw it up. Okay, then you're going to purse the lips, blow the breath out through the pursed lips as you slowly lower your shoulders down as slow as you can. Almost like you're deflating the air out of the shoulders. Try it again. Press the feet, inhale. Draw it up, purse the lips, blow the air out through the pursed lip. Lower the shoulders as slow as you can. Soft hands. Ah. Take a moment. Look straight ahead. We're going to do a little mobilization of the neck. Okay, so as you look straight ahead, think of your nose drawing a little circle. One direction. Just mobilizing the head, C1, C2. And then when you're ready, go the other direction. Good. Come back to center. We're going to exhale, chin towards the chest. Now we're going to inhale, bring your left ear over to your left shoulder. Good. Take your right arm, palm forward. Reach the arm up and down. Just doing a little release through neck, through the nerves. Just allowing a little slide and glide. Sometimes the chin can even lift a little bit, and you can feel how it changes the release through the neck. So chin can go down, but it also can lift. Good. And then let the arms settle, chin back towards the chest. Inhale, exhale, ear over to the other shoulder. Take a moment to pause, externally rotate, palm forward, left arm. Okay. Slowly reach it up and down. Okay, so our nerves off the neck pass under our clavicle. They also wrap around the shoulder. They go through and to the shoulder blade. And you can even do a little soft nod of yes motion as the ears towards the shoulder. Notice how that feels. Sometimes it's just good just to feel, oh, if I lift my chin up a little bit. For me, I get a release through the front where I need. So the arm, shoulder, then we're going to bring chin towards the chest. We're going to come up. Just take a moment, maybe a few movements. Let's inhale, bring right arm up. Grab hold of the right wrist. We're going to exhale, pull it over. Good. We're going to swing it down. And so you might just stay one side, swing it down and open it back up and back. Or you decide to go all the way around and switch the hold as you go and tug your left arm over, you're holding the left wrist. Just go back and forth. Just mobilizing the thoracic body here. Yours to play with. You're going to look different from me. So just listen to your body. What do you need? We're going to go into, in a moment, the spinal movements. So we're going to pause in front, interlace fingers. So just interlace without thinking about it. Good. Now I want you to switch your interlace. So that means you're going to move all your fingers in the opposite. I know. If you don't think about it too much, right? Because you already did that one. So I want to do the other one. So you're going to press forward and you're going to lean back through your shoulder blades. And then just take a moment to explore the back body, the front body. Here we've been practicing these. Okay, then you're going to bring your arms up and you're going to take your hands and put them behind the back of the skull. So soft hands. Okay, and then just let your elbows reach towards the sides of the room. Your shoulder blades are going to squeeze together. Just pause here. Relax your shoulders and relax your shoulders. Widen the collarbone. Take one SH breath because sometimes we tend to jut the ribs forward. Good. One more SH breath. Okay, now we're going to flow here. So we're going to start at the feet going into the pelvis. So as you bend your knees, you're going to feel sit bones reaching down, lower back rounding, shoulder blades widening, elbows coming towards the skull, chin towards your chest. Okay, so we're doing spinal waves standing. And now you're going to feel the weight shift a little bit more into your toes. Lift as you press the toes, lift pubic bone, lower belly, upper belly, heart, chest, widen the shoulders, little soft gaze. Let your head rest in the support of your hands. Relax your neck. Okay, start from your feet. So you're shifting weight back in the heels. Sit bones reach down, widen, lower back curve, shoulder blades widen, elbows come down, head releases. Now here, pause as your head releases. Just lean your head a little bit up into soft hands. Feel how that widens the upper part of your shoulders and neck. I keep that contact of the head leaning into the hands as you root into the toes. Lift lower belly, upper belly, heart, elbows open, little soft opening through throat. Head is supported in the hands. Then you shift back into heels. Exhale. Sit bones widen, lower back releases. Shoulder blades, elbows come down. Head leans up into hands. Just try one more round. Toes. Root up through the lower belly, upper belly. Keep the sit bones wide as you go into extension. And then flexion, heels, rounding through back. As the head lowers, the head, back of the head leans up into your hands. Good. And then just end and just coming straight up to standing. And then we'll release the hands, arms. And then let's just give a little good shake out, a little bounce. A twist if you want. Oh, mhm. Good. So however you want to release. Oh. Okay, so we're going to use a couple tools now. We are going to find a wall. So if you want to, Linda, you can move over by Seamus and Tina if you want. If you want to go behind you, if you want to come here, Donna, beside me, let's move a little bit of space for you. Perfect. Okay, so you got it. And Rhonda, yeah, you can go here and we'll move Donna's spot just a little bit forward, just so you have some space. There you go. Okay. So hopefully you grabbed something. We're going to use something between our thighs as well. So if you don't, go back to your mat. You can have inflated ball or the 4-inch block. Okay, so you can put it in between the thighs. If you want, it can be middle thighs, it can be closer to the knees, it can be closer to the pelvic floor. Good. Yeah, block also works. Yeah, nice. Okay, so feet are about 1 to 2 feet away, and you're gonna come down into a little soft supported squat. And we're gonna do a box squat here. Good. Squeeze the ball. Okay, so your TerraBand is gonna be in front of you, palms up. So not too far apart with the hands, a little bit closer. Now, I want you to just feel your shoulder blades, and in between your shoulder blades, lean back into the wall. And we're not all going to get our head back because it is for some of us a little bit far away, but I want you just to have your gaze looking straight ahead. Now, inner elbows, triceps close to your body. Good. Now we're going to inhale as we exhale, keeping the shoulders down. I want you to just pull apart the tear band as you exhale, but keep your elbows close into the body. Good. Now you're going to adjust. Okay, I feel like I need to bring my hands closer. I feel like I need a little bit more space. So you choose. Okay, so you're going to exhale as you pull apart and inhale, come. If it feels better to inhale and pull apart, then do that. I notice my left elbow always wants to come away. Okay, so you just want to try to keep your elbows as you open by the side of your body. So we're strengthening all around the shoulder blade. So the rotator cuff muscles, specifically the infraspinatus and the teres minor. Yeah. Okay. The lower trapezius muscle. Yeah. Do you guys feel this? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. So I know it's a lot of work, right? So now what you're going to do, now this one's very subtle. So as you pull apart and hold it, I want you to think of your shoulder blades, which are at the wall, and you're going to slide them as you maintain this up and down. It's not shoulders though. So it's not shoulders, it's shoulder blades. So it's very little. It's very little movement up and down. Your shoulders will move, but it's coming from the shoulder blades. So instead of this is upper trap, this is lower trap movement. Do you see the difference? Okay, so you're taking your shoulder blades, yeah, and sliding them along your rib cage. There you go. It's different, right? Yeah, you have to tell it. I want you to go lower. So this is what we're trying to do is get the lower traps to start working. And this is going to take the load off your neck. So if you get neck discomfort and you notice I'm moving a lot, so take a break. You know, this is a lot of work. Hey, you can do this exercise, okay, of pulling apart. Hey, just the strengthening, but then also just lifting the shoulder blades up and down. I know it's a lot of work, right? So you can come out when you're ready. There it is. Yes, you got it now. It's less is more, right? On this one, it's less is more. Yeah. But sometimes we feel we want to, because our tendency is always to use the upper traps, right? Which is when we get tense and we do this. Okay. So if you strengthen the lower traps, you'll have less neck discomfort. Okay. So we're going to take the terror band down unless you want to keep going. And let's just release shoulder blades. We're going to do a I know everyone's like, whatever, I don't want to do that. We're going to do a mini. So last week we did a fuller rolling at the wall. We're just going to do a little mini just to release the back. So you're going to put the ball. So you might feel, oh, I want to put it around the shoulder blades, or I want to put it in the lower back, or I want to go in the pelvis. So you choose. And we're just going to roll. And so it might be laterally from right to left. Mhm. Feels so good after doing it. It's noisy. It is noisy. It's like kind of like moving around in a bathtub sometimes, right? Yeah. So you can go up and down. When you go up and down, you can notice how the knees are tracking. Hey, they can go past your ankles, but you just want to notice that you're tracking over the second and third toe. Yeah, this is really nice and strengthening. So we're working quads at the same time. Keep your sit bones wide. Good. And so some of you might feel, oh, the upper part of the shoulder blades. So I'm just going to take my hand out of the equation here. Just a slow mo ball likes to pull. But you can roll around the upper part. Okay, to release upper traps. So you're just bringing in a little myofascial release. Good. Lower back, hips. And if your body says, oh, I want to show, last week we did iliotibial band. Okay, we released iliotibial band. So you can, if you want, take even the slow-mo ball and roll it across the hips. You can just warm up the iliotibial band down through the middle thigh, down through the bottom of the knee. Okay, you can do that each side. Almost once we get going, though, we create like a symphony with the slow-mo ball, right? Hey, then if you want, you're more than welcome to just have one ball or two. Hey, and you can roll it up and down one side of the spine, up and down the other. You can even put the ball on either side of the spine and go up and down. You can roll through shoulder blades or across iliotibial bands. You remember this one, Donna, we were working with where we had the ball vertical. Yeah, or that way. But this way, if you take the ball vertically, yeah, uh-huh, then it rolls a little bit easier from front to back. Yeah, and then you can go down, so vertical. I'll show this closer on because I have someone watching it later. And you can go what we do a cross fibering. Yes, from front of thigh, right, to back of thigh. So you're going here. So you can take this ball, turn it this way. Yeah, yeah, perfect. And then you're rolling, yes, through iliotibial band. You got it, right? It's great. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, cross fibering. Yeah, it's a good one, right? Yeah. And you can control the pressure, right? So we've done it on the ground, but here's another way. So I just wanted to go over this because we did it last week, but I wanted to share it with some of you that didn't make it last week and then also review it so that you were clear on it, right? So you can also put the ball up and down here, which is your TFL muscle. And that is the muscle above your iliotibial band. It is an internal rotator. Yeah, and balls are going to drop all the time. That's just kind of the nature of it. Okay, my body's asking me to go into my thoracolumbar fascia. So I'm just going to go there in my QL a little bit. But just going to take another kind of, yeah, that's where Tina is, right? Yeah, I was just thinking, it's one side, right? Yeah. So any of us that have a little curve in our back, a little scoliosis, you're going to notice this muscle. Okay. We talk about it a lot in this class. It attaches from your lowest rib, T12, all the way down to the top of your hip. It runs vertically. Its job is to hold your rib cage down. But if you have, I love it. We're creating the percussion in our symphony right now. So if sometimes you have one side, you might not notice that this muscle might get really tight because you might have a tendency to hike the hip up. And so for me, because I've got scoliosis in my spine, it's this side. So I get compression on this side. And so this gets really tight. You'll roll out one side and you'll be like, oh, there's nothing there. You roll out your other side and you'll be like, oh, right? Okay, so it's going to be very different from right to left. And it's going to feel so good if that is if you need it. Yeah, it's kind of like one of those drooling moments where you're like, am I drooling? Am I okay? Okay. Yeah, good. And then upper. Yeah, you can go through upper. I'm going to grab, and this one might be yours to do, Jane, because you're doing the top of the shoulders. I know I said we weren't going to be here for too long, but it gets so exciting and then we get into it. And okay, so I'm going to show you a release. Okay. Top of shoulders. You can use pillars. Okay. And I'll show it a couple different ways. Ball, top. Okay. You're going to lean down and you're going to put the ball here. And then you can so I've got it on my right shoulder, my left foot's forward, my right foot's back. I don't really need this in my hand. Okay. And you're pushing your feet into the floor and then you can roll. You can sometimes just hold. I find a spot in mine. Yes. Yes, you can try it. I'll move this around. And so we'll do different intervals, but there's one here. There's also a corner here that I can move this off. So you can try this corner if you want, putting the ball here or there. Rhonda, did you want to try too? Okay, pillar. Yeah, that's always Ellsby. That's always the one that when you do that, your body goes, yeah. And you're doing front of pec. So you can also you can do front of pec too, but you can also, because you're going to do this one, do upper trap. Okay, so you want to walk your feet away. Yeah, farther, farther, farther. Yeah, heads on the side of the pillar. There we go. There it is. You got to move it around to feel it. Yeah, you got to move around to find it. Yeah, there it is. So it might be more in the pec. So you can face the wall too, right? And do pec if you want. Yeah. Isn't it good? Yeah. Mhm. And then you can change and be this way with that one. Like a wall is my best. I know I do tend to do that, don't I? I love the wall though. So I love walls and floors. Which one yeah, he does it too. Yeah, yeah. When I've showed it to him. I'm like with me and my cats. I'm the only one in the house where I'll lie down in the kitchen and I'll do yoga while I'm like waiting for my food, and then my cats get down, right? And my one cat, Magoo, what do you call it, Seamus, when he lies above my head? It's like, oh, the cat jumping the moon. Yeah, the Michelle. And he like lies over top of me, and it's like we're both like, and he's on his back too, and we're both like, oh, it's pretty funny. That's a good one in the pack for you too, right? So you can always have the one ball and do this one against the wall too. Okay, so we're just going to do a few more minutes. There you go. Good, Beverly. Yes, you got it. Uh-huh. How's it feeling? This is the tight side, right? Yeah. And you can really feel it. So as you're going in, sometimes if like whatever side I'm on, I'll always step that foot back. And then the lower you go, then the easier it is to get into the top. So for me right there, I'm just like, and then you can just rest your head. It's like, oh, okay, take your time. And then we're going to release that and finish up both sides. And then we'll come back to our mat. I just wanted to review those release tools because some of us were here last week. Good review, but some of us weren't. Hey, so this is what you can do on your own at home. So if you've been sitting at the computer, if you do a lot of computer work and you get up and you're like, oh, I need to do some of that rolling, right, at the wall, you can self-massage. Yeah. So we worked shoulder blades. We also released. Good. Take a moment just to feel your body. Checking in. Sometimes warrior flows come in, just waiting to see. Okay, so there's one warrior flow that is coming in before we go down to the floor. So we're going to go towards the top of the mat. Bend the knees. Okay, feel your feet. Okay, so you're going to feel right foot rooting down, left heel lifting, fold forward a little bit through the hip crease at the pelvis. And then lift your left foot up and just step it back. So it can be 3 feet, 3.5 feet, but you want to watch that you don't step the left foot behind the right foot. So when you look down, if you were to kind of look at, oh, I'm standing on two tracks, two train tracks, and they're parallel. In the back hip, as you come up a little bit, you want to take your back foot so the toes angle a little bit more forward. And then you swing your left hip forward. Good. Now check in. If you need more space, you can always walk the foot out. I tend to like to walk the front foot out a little bit. Okay, so bend both knees. Front knee can bend a little bit more. Let's inhale, bring the arms up. Okay, as we exhale, cross the feet into the floor, straighten the legs, arms come down and back. Now, as we inhale, sweep arms forward, knee bends, arms come up. Good. Exhale, cross the feet into the floor, sweep the arms down and back. Inhale, bend the knees, reaching up and forward. Good. Exhale, straighten the legs, arms go down and back. Two more. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Beautiful. Exhale. Good. End in an inhale. You're going to come up and then we're just going to go into a cactus. Just feel this for a moment. Wiggle your fingers. Okay, release your hands down to your hips. Shift your weight forward into your front foot. Now, you might just keep your toes of the left foot just touching the ground, and this might be it for you. Warrior three. Some of you can shift more weight into the toes as the back leg lifts. You root through your heel. So the toes of the left foot pointing towards the floor, the left leg internally rotating. Press the feet, and then just step left foot to meet right. Shake it out. Wiggle around. Good. Let's try other side. Bend the knees. Okay, left foot takes the weight. Right foot lifts a little bit. As you fold forward, you step back. Okay, notice, do I need to widen my feet? Do I need to step them together? Did I step too far? Okay, bend the knees. Lift the chest. Now, this time we're going to go into cactus arms. So we felt it first. So this is going to be our inhale, squeeze shoulder blades. As we exhale, leg straightens, forearms come together, palms are facing your skull. Good. Inhale, your palms face forward as the shoulder blades squeeze. Beautiful. Exhale, leg straightens, forearms, pinky side of the hands come towards one another. Inhale, bend the front knee. Good. Exhale. Couple more. Inhale, open. And exhale. See if you can smooth the breath out a little bit. Inhale, smooth inhale. And exhale. Last one. Good. Come back to your inhale, hold. Heavy elbow. Wiggle your fingers. Good. Hands down to your hips. Shift the weight forward into front foot. Keep your toes in your heel. So the right foot, the toes might just stay on the floor. Some of you can teeter forward and the leg just lifts. You're pressing back through the heel, inner heel, outer heel. Hands can stay at hips. They can come out to the side. They can go forward. Step right foot to left. Shake it out. Roll the hips around. Okay, we're going to transition down to the floor. So we're going to find the top part of our mat. Now notice how you felt from when you first arrived. So just let your arms by your side, palms face forward, externally rotate, and just breathe here. Feel toes and heels, wide sit bones. SH breath. And just allow yourself to feel Tadasana, the basis of all of our movement in standing on and off the mat. So when you're standing in line, you can come in into your Tadasana. Anytime you pause on your feet, elbows bend, palms touch, thumbs at your sternum. Inhale. Let's exhale into chair. Good. Press down through the feet. Come all the way up to standing. Arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Weight shifts back on the heels. Body comes down. Weight comes back on the toes and the heels. Let your head go if you're in your full fold. Beautiful. Bend the knees. Hands nice and wide. So the width of the mat there in front of your feet is whatever space distance you want. Then you're going to take a big step back, one foot. If you do not want to go into downward dog, your knee comes to the floor. If you do want to go into downward dog, you step the other one back. You press the hands into the floor. Maybe the knees bend. Widen your shoulder blades apart. Okay, now walk out the legs. So one heel reaches to the floor, the other knee bends. You breathe, then you switch. Move your head around a little bit just to notice you've got a soft neck. Remember what it felt like when you leaned your head into the back of the hands. Even though your hands aren't there, you can feel, oh, if I lean back and up through the back of my skull without lifting my chin, you can feel a widening through your neck. You come down into child's pose when it's yours. Hey, you might want to widen the knees or keep the inner thighs together. You sink back to a place that feels good for you. Arms extend forward. Walk arms over to one side, little lateral release, little bit deeper. Pause and hold. Then your arms, when you're ready, transition through center. Inhale, exhale to the other side. Ah. When you're ready, we'll come back into center. So arms can stay forward. Other option today, palms of the hands touching. Lift forearms and hands off the floor and bring them towards your upper back. You can flatten the hands. You can keep them in a prayer position. If that doesn't feel good, you might even find arms by your side, forehead on the floor. Yeah. Now you're going to come up onto hands and knees. If hands and knees don't feel good, you're going to be on forearms and elbows. So you choose. Elbows are underneath shoulders. Knees are underneath hips. Now, You can grab a block or a slow-mo ball. So I just want to go over what we did last week is you can put a little slow-mo ball or a block in between the inner thighs. And we're just going to go into adduction. So you're going to inhale, exhale. You're going to squeeze the ball, the block, okay, and just bring your inner knees towards one another so that that feels comfortable. Remember, you can always support your knees. And then as you keep squeezing the ball or the block, you're going to go into extension. So sit bones, lower back, arches, shoulder blades squeeze, soft gaze forward, and then the sit bones release down, the back rounds through lower back, widening the shoulder blade, head drops. So start the movement from pushing the ground away, and then let your sit bones and your pelvis start the movement to ripple up through your spine. Your head moves on the last part of the movement. Good. And then we're going to feel a little bit of abduction. So you're just going to pull the ball or the block away. Now, some of you, this will be easy to integrate this cue. So as you have your knees, you're going to imagine that you had a strap around your legs and you're pressing out. You're pressing out. Okay, so you're leaning out. Yeah, there you go. And now you're going to keep leaning out and go into the same thing again. Yes, flexion and extension. Keep leaning out through the outer thighs, outer knees. That's going to widen your sit bones. It's going to widen your pelvis. For some of you, it's going to feel quite good. We're getting into our side abductors. You might notice one side tends to be a little bit lazier and you have to keep focusing on it. Good. Now we're going to bring it in to extending one arm, one leg. So bird dog. Now watch, you're not arching your spine. So you want to come in, SH breath, pull the belly and the rib cage in a little bit. You feel flat back. Now you want to keep flat back. You might push the inner thighs and the knees out a little bit to find that space. And then you're going to extend left hand, right leg. Good. Toes can stay on the floor. Fingers can too, or you can lift. But when you lift, try not to arch. So you're lifting, but you're gathering the ribs. Flat back stays. And then you come back. Good. Now lean the right knee down and out a little bit so that the right arm and the left leg can free. Left hand stays on the floor. You can touch. You can come up. SH breath. Reach forward through your arms, back through your heel. Beautiful. Come back. Release. We're just going to do some circles. So you're going to widen your knees quite a lot, and you're going to bring your big toes together. Then we're just going to circle. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Beautiful. Let the pelvis have some movement. Going to go the other way. Sometimes the body just wants to kind of sway in that little V pocket in between your thighs. Feel free to hover there if you want. Hmm. We're going to gently come up. We're going to roll over onto one hip. Okay, so we're going to have either a ball or the two balls, and you might have both. Want to just have them off to the side for a moment. We're going to roll out our hands, but we're going to do it in a way so that we're releasing hips. So I want you to bring your hands towards the back of your thighs, roll up over your sit bones, and just kind of find a little bit more length. And then roll to the other side, slide your hands, roll up, and find a little bit more length. Then bring the soles of the feet together. So outer hip release, a little bit closer inner thigh. Good. Keep lifting the pelvis up. So you don't want to be rolling back, lifting up. Okay, you're going to take one ball And you're just going to roll through the hands. So you can also do this on the floor. So I just want to release the hands a little bit. Do it in between your legs. You can even come forward a little bit. You do both hands. Just getting into abductors. Good. Yeah, it's nice to do the two balls. You're like, your brain's going, whoa, this is a lot. Because there's two balls, they're each doing a little bit different. Yeah, it's good. It's good work on the brain. And good. And then just want you just to feel forward. So remember, so just pausing the ball rolling for a minute. When you come forward, your pelvis needs to go with you. So we're not leaving our pelvis behind and rounding. It's very difficult. If I posteriorly tilt my pelvis back, okay, so here I can feel my pelvis rolling back. But if I pull and allow the pelvis to inchworm back a little bit, then when you come forward, see how I'm moving my pelvis forward? Yeah, there you go. So there's a little rotation. There's a moment when you hit a stop and you can only go so far, right? Then that's when the spine takes the stretch. Okay, so if you're needing to, just work on the pelvis. If you want, you can kind of do a little inchworm back, and then you might need to slide your feet forward, but you'll be a little bit more on your sit bones. Does that help? There we go. Your pelvis looks better today, Kevin. No? Does it feel better? Yeah, it feels like it's more in a neutral pelvis, right? Yeah, and it's not as like kind of straining because if you're posterior and you try to go forward, even though I can go forward, I can't because of how the body, right? So it's really important to get the pelvis forward. So we're just going to pause here for a moment. Brahmasana, tortoise pose. It's a really nice one to do towards the end of the practice. It brings us into our body. So if you think of your legs as the bottom part of your body, your torso is your shell. And you kind of turtle in. Breathe into your hips. Some of you might feel, oh, if I root my feet a little bit together, maybe more the pinky side and the heels, you might feel a little connection going up into the legs a little bit more. And maybe the elongation happens a tiny bit different. So you're kind of doing a little bit of isometric kind of contraction release. Yeah, we're not going to be here for too long. If you had your legs more in a diamond shape, you're going to draw the feet closer. If you had the feet closer, you're going to bring the legs away. And you can sit up for this as well. So if you have the feet together, you can bring your hands behind you so you can tent them even, push down, lift up. Really good back strengthening. There you go. You can feel inner thighs. You can push your feet together, feel a little engagement, and then release. Push your feet together and then release. Feet to pelvis connection. One more time. Press the feet together and then release. Yeah, bring the inner thighs together, shake it out. I know. Those ones are tricky. Okay, so we're going to take the balls now. I had a request to do a little, we hadn't done this one. This was the very first class I think I taught this year. We did myofascial release of the lower leg. Okay, so this is what we're ending with. Some of you might move into hamstring. So you can take the ball if you choose on the outside. I'm going to start laterally. Okay, so you can have the two balls. Okay, this leg can do whatever it wants. And then you can start to roll. Yeah, up and down. So you can start lower, you can move it around, and you're just rolling up through this lateral line. So this leg could be here. Sometimes I'll lean down and bring that leg in. If you want to load it a little bit more, then you can have your hand here. If you're like, okay, this is like, I'm just going to go here, that's also an option. Lie down. You can take your bolster, okay? Have it for a little bit of support. You can be here too. Okay, so just play. I'm just giving lots of options for you. Yeah, lateral line. There we go. Good. Hmm. So some of us feel, oh, it's a little bit kind of held in the body. Yeah, good. Then you can come up and you can roll. We're just going to use hands for this one because it's a lot easier. You're going to come on the inside. So you're going to roll up and down. So feel, oh, maybe there's some spots. Inner ankle going up through. So start soft and then let it increase. Good, good. And then you can stay there for as long as you want, but you can also do calf. And this one for some of us is going to be pretty tight. So couple options here. Some of you might feel, okay, I want to do this seated. Some of you might put the ball down and then you might just lie down. Okay. I like to also put the ball on top of a block and anchor through the calf. And then you can kind of roll and play with the block. So it's a little bit of play here. But some of you might feel, "Whew, my Achilles is really tight." If you find, so here I've got it on the Achilles and the back of the calf, so the gastrocnemius, and then underneath the soleus. You might hang here and you might decide, oh, I'm going to cross this leg over. So we're just doing a little compression. It's called a compression and a stretch. And then all you do is you point and flex the foot. Okay, so what you're doing is you're compressing, you're kind of creating a compression in the muscle and the connective tissue fibers, and then you're stretching it. So you're asking it to release and hydrate. And you can do that up the calf. So you might go, oh, there's my spot there. And then you just cross and you hold it, and then you can do a point flex. Deep breaths out the mouth there. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you can have it. You can roll and then you can cross, right? And then you can do just compression on a spot. So for me, I feel kind of right there. I feel a little bit of holding in my calf and my, and then you just go, you keep the compression and you just do point, flex, point, flex. Yeah, good. Mhm. Some of you are doing ankle circles, which is great. And it really helps to create mobility in the lower leg. And we don't give a lot of love to our shins and our calves very often, right? We roll out our feet and then we go into like the hips, right? But very rarely do we go into the lower leg. Is it feeling okay? Yeah. A little bit painful, right? Yeah, this is where exactly, right? So some of us, we don't, it's just enough. So that's a cue to me that there's a little bit of stagnation and congestion in the lower leg. So as that starts to move, right, your circulation is going to increase, right? And also the nerves, right, pass through fascia. So if the fascia is really tight, it tugs on the nerves and it compresses them and it will stop sensation. Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to go, but the last part, which we didn't do, is shin, and you don't even have to, but you want to find tibia bone, right? And then it's a hands and knees thing. And we just roll up and down. Hey, punts, get in the way if you have like me. And you got to lift your foot up because you don't want to hook your toes on the floor here. So ankle, front of ankle for some of us is really like held. Yeah, good. Yeah, we're already at 10, 10 almost, and we haven't even done our other side. Shoot. So I am on. Thanks, Kevin. I'm so glad that I don't have someone right after me in this class because it would be a nightmare. Um, I almost feel like this class should be an hour and 30 minutes, right? Like that's, I just always feel 75 minutes for me in this class is a little tight. I do it in all my other ones, but we got way more body parts. I got hips, neck, and shoulders that I'm doing. It's a lot. Okay, so pause for a moment, not too long. Okay. Feel you can do it lying down, you can kind of do it seated, but just notice the leg that you released to the other leg. Ah, good. So different. It's like you can feel the fluid slide and glide, right? Your fascia should slide and glide. Your skin, your fascia, your layers should slide and glide. They shouldn't be stuck. So then you're going to do other side. So you can do whatever order you wanted. I started lateral line, then I went inner line, then I went calf and top of the shin. But if you want to go and you're drawn to a different, and you want to start inner line first, feel free. If you want to follow me, you might go outer line. Yes, most definitely. So all myofascial release that we do is going to help proprioception, gait, walking, right? Plus interoception, so your inner felt sense of body, plus nervous system. Yeah, so you're getting all three because there's more than that because the mediator, the fascia is the mediator of all of the systems, right? So you're kind of getting all of the systems, but very specifically those three for sure. And so one leg might feel really different from the other leg. So where you were kind of held on one leg might not be the same on this side. Okay, so it kind of shows you if you're feeling a lot of holding in the lateral line, it might mean that when you're walking, you're loading more the outer edge of your foot. Okay, if you have more tension on your inner line, it means when you're walking, your arches are very weak and you're pronating in. Okay, and you're loading this side of the leg. If you're heel heavy, you're going to feel your calves a lot more. If you're toe heavy, you're going to feel your shins a lot more. Okay. So that shows you when you're walking or standing, where are you loading more on your foot? Have you done the calf and shin release before? Yeah, good. It's fun, right? Yeah, it's different. Hey, use your blocks if you want. Hmm, good. How's that feeling, Beverly? Good. Hey, we haven't even gone up into quads too much, but you can always take the ball and also put the leg on a block. If you do want to do any sort of hamstring work too, you can always be here. I just like to sometimes cross and hold and whew, yeah, I can get into hamstrings more. at some point as well. Mm. Sometimes the belly of the hamstring goes, what? So we've got that rolling through the calves, showing this on the camera, just so Amelia can. Emily is going to be watching it, just pointing and flexing. Good. So you can roll if you want a little bit more into the calves. We are almost done. So once you feel, I'm just going to do the last part on me, which is my ends. A lot of the time, if we go on long walks or long hikes, you'll feel lower leg, right? Holding. And this is a really nice release. Good. So you kind of decide when you're done. If you feel that you come down and a couple of you are like, oh, I want to roll my pecs out, or some of you are feeling, oh, I want to put the block behind my head and put the two balls just around the back of the neck or the occipital ridge, and you can do some nodding. So this is the one you were talking about, Rhonda. You can use the block, and you'd want to use the hard one rather than soft if you can. Yeah. So you're gonna lie down. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna lie down. We're gonna put that under your head. Good. And you can tug it really close to there. And then you can put the balls. Yeah, there you go. And then you can do very gentle nod, right? And then you can do a little bit of shearing so you can kind of drag across. Yeah. And so the hard surface is really nice because it's giving you feedback on it. Ah, just take a few breaths there. You might just release in a full release. And take up as much space as you want. I'm just going to be here for a few minutes. Ah, take some breaths out the mouth. Yeah. Some of you just want to lie flat on the floor. Some of you are ball rolling still. Some of you might want to put the bolster underneath you. Legs up the wall is also an option. Yeah, good. Yeah, you got it. You're a little bit off, but that's okay. I feel like if you scoot towards me a little bit more, there you go, and then roll up and back and try to get your right buttocks a little bit closer once you're up. There you go. There you go. And you can swing around a little bit. Perfect. Oops, sorry, Leslie. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, they are really warm, the sandbags. I was like, I feel my hands too. Yeah, I tend to have really good circulation these days. Yeah, so the one thing you can do is you can put it on this block. So you can put that ball. Mhm. Does that feel like it's too high for you, or is it okay? Yeah, right? The pressure, right? So when you have a harder surface, the floor is kind of a little bit too far away, right? Yeah. But the block, you can do it, and then you can just do, right? A little knot. You can just hold it there, sometimes a little movement. Yeah, just holding it. Sometimes when I get a lot of pressure, like I get a lot of holding of the trapezius muscles into the occipital ridge. So sometimes just holding it is really good for headaches. It does, right? Yeah. So just hang out there. Yeah, good. Take a few breaths. If you haven't let any out your mouth, do so. Oh, yeah. Donna Ashworth and the poem Joy Chooses You. Joy does not arrive with a fanfare on a red carpet strewn with flowers of a perfect life. Joy sneaks in as you pour a cup of coffee, watching the sun hit your favorite tree just right. And you usher your joy away because you're not ready for it. Your house is not as it must be for such a distinguished guest. But joy cares nothing for your messy home or your bank balance or your waistline. You see, joy is supposed to slither through the cracks of your imperfect life. That's how joy works. You cannot truly invite her. You can only be ready when she appears. And hug her with meaning. Because in this very moment, joy chose you. Because in this very moment, joy chose you. Just feel your whole body as you rest here. Notice nervous system, the breath just easily flowing through you and its autonomic function. It might be out the mouth, it might be out the nose, whatever it wants to do. Just allow yourself the freedom to be held by the ground, the wall, any props you have. Soft mouth, teeth releasing. So the lower jaw is what releases from the upper jaw. The tongue relaxes. The lips are soft, sometimes even parting. Feel this moment right here. You fully embody the space, the body, the breath, the heart. Let the essence of this class keep unfolding with you throughout your day, and it might hold with you for a couple days. And then listen if some of the tools that we did today, even if you don't have the two balls, you can use one ball and do a little release. Do let the body just rest tomorrow after the myofascial release we did. But then if it wants to come in, 2 days later or 3 days later, let it come. Just listen. Thank yourself for showing up today. Bring a little wiggle. Might be through the body, it might be through the arms, it might through the fingers or the toes. a little stretching, yawning as you feel yourself in your wholeness. You take your time to let any props move, and you can roll to the side. You can pause and sit up when you're ready. And just note if your neighbors are sitting already on their mat, just move a little bit in front of them or a little bit behind them, just so we leave space for everyone to move their arms. Okay, so you can sit however you want. If that was helpful to sweep up through the back of the legs, if you want to be straight leg, remember you can push the thigh and the calves into the floor for Dandasana. Arms are out to the side, palms forward. Take that exhale out the mouth. And then as you press your pelvis into the floor, let your arms sweep up. Gather energy. Gather as you touch the hands. And then exhale, receive. So you draw that line in front of your body. We're going to do that again. Your timing. Inhale. Gather up. Exhale, receive. On your third passing, no rush. Gather up. Pause at your heart with the hand. Thumbs may even touch around the sternum. Soft shoulder. Easeful breath. Feeling yourself arrive in body, breath, mind, and heart. And when the eyes are ready to open, lift, head comes up. Thank you for being here. Almost